As succinctly captured by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, to achieve sustained economic growth, we must intentionally align our policies and activities with the changing global landscape. One of the veritable agencies of government, ever poised and eager to give fillip to the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, has always been the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Tetfund. Acclaimed far and wide as the interventionist-in-chief, emancipator and supplementer of the Nigerian public tertiary education, Tetfund has over the years been investing heavily in content development, research and innovation, apart from supporting key and iconic projects, revamping derelict buildings and infrastructure, underwriting cost of academic and non-academic staff training and development, financing information and communication development ICT copiously, to mention a few, in the nation's third-tier public education space. About a month ago, a new minister in the person of Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa was named for the Education Ministry by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and there has been no better advocate in exuding and enunciating the policies of the current administration in getting all critical sectors of the economy working for the benefit of all. The Education Minister's passion for Nigeria to start honing her skills and talent as a way of competing effectively with other forward-looking nations of the world came to the fore at the just concluded first-of-its-kind Tetfund-sponsored National Research Fair and Exhibition held at the Eagle Square in Abuja between November 17 and 22, 2024. At the event, the minister unequivocally told attendees and participants that Nigeria is shifting its education curriculum towards achieving practical solutions to Nigeria's problems and, in the same vein, contributing its quota to overall national economic development. Describing the fair as a call to action for the academia and institutions of research to face the critical challenges plaguing the nation head-on, Dr. Alausa stressed that Nigeria's boundless intellectual and immense natural resources must be harnessed for demonstrable growth in line with President Tinubu's vision for a renewed hope for every Nigerian.
Let me begin by stating that I'm highly inspired by the evidently deliberate intention and reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR to the specific effort of Tetfund to encourage our academia to respond to core critical needs for our national development. It is this inspiration and recognition of these important stakes you all owed in achieving results on these reforms that has encouraged us to deliberately support the Tetfund National Research Fair with specific reference to the roles of universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, and even creativities and innovation from our individuals and communities. The research fair is specifically aligned to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda on domesticating the local research result for the composite objective of creating jobs, generation of wealth, and the ultimate goal of strengthening our economy. Generally, research and innovation system help us to categorize countries into first, second, and third world countries. In other words, research and innovation system is a cardinal factor in determining the quality of life of a people and the overall status of the nation. Hence, research and innovation applications determines the leaders and the followers of this world.
He said the research fair, billed to be an annual event, will focus on fostering synergy among research and technology agencies to accelerate the deployment of their efforts for nation building. The minister also stated that henceforth the nation's school curriculum under his watch will be predicated upon 20% classroom instruction and 80% practical hands-on learning, and also hinted that going forward his ministry will focus more than ever before on science, technology, engineering, maths and medical sciences (STEMs), as well as technical and vocational education and training, as those will equip the youth population with requisite life skills that will serve them, their communities and the nation at large very well into the future. In his remarks, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, congratulated the Minister of Education, the Tetfund Board Chairman, members of the Board of Trustees and the Executive Secretary of Tetfund on a well-conceived idea. He said the Tetfund Research Fair and exhibition fit snugly into President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's plans for a better Nigeria.
President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his renewed hope agenda, believes that we should confront our reality. We should give place of pride to our blessings, which is the intellectual capacity that is all over the place in our institutions, and to support them so that we build a Nigeria that is technically competent, that is continually innovative, that will take its place of pride in the Committee of Nations.
Also speaking at the epochal event, the chairman of the Tetfund Board of Trustees, Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari, reaffirmed the fund's commitment to driving innovation and improving the global competitiveness of public tertiary institutions in Nigeria.
It is a recognition of the role of research in national development that the need to address the paucity of funds necessary to facilitate cutting-edge research in the areas of national priorities that the Board of Trustees of Tetfund introduced the National Research Fund, NRF, intervention to fund impactful research that will contribute to national developmental efforts as well as tackle global challenges.
He noted that Tetfund's investment in research and development spans over 23,000 institution-based research IBR since 2011 and 912 grants under the National Research Fund NRF since 2012, and that the agency will keep funding research with inherent potentials of transforming the fortunes of Nigeria. Executive Secretary of Tetfund, Architect Suni S.T. Echuno, in his address, said Tetfund has institutionalized a process on its research support mandate by establishing a National Research Funds Screening and Monitoring Committee composed of distinguished and senior scholars to basically screen all research and development concept notes and proposals submitted to the fund. He added that the fund has also upscaled its effort at supporting other critical research and development initiatives aimed at facilitating the uptake of various research output for the benefit of the society.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, research and innovation are critical to the sustenance of any society. Besides expanding knowledge and facilitating changes in the society, scientific knowledge as a product of research should be able to address societal problems and ultimately bring about improvements in the standard of living of the people. In appreciation of the critical role of research in realizing national aspirations, the fund has been funding various research interventions such as the institutional-based research in our beneficiary institutions, the National Research Fund, and the mega research grants for multidisciplinary and multi-agency research. I am pleased to inform you that based on the additional impetus by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, the fund has upscaled its efforts at supporting other critical research and development initiatives aimed at facilitating the uptake of research output for the benefit of society.
Some of these initiatives, he noted, include the Research for Impact R4I program, the Tetfund Alliance for Innovative Research, TEDFAIR, and the Innovation Fellowship for Aspiring Inventors and Researchers IFE program, with the ultimate objective of translating research from Nigerian tertiary institutions into innovations, inventions and solutions for practical application and commercialization. Whilst later declaring the fair and exhibition open, the Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa maintained that quality research has remained the bedrock of any viable and lasting transformation of any society, and called on the youths to seize the opportunities provided by the fair to acquire relevant skills germane to their success as future manufacturers, service providers, and subsequent drivers of national development. The minister and other dignitaries present were thereafter conducted round hundreds of researchers, innovators, and inventors from across tertiary institutions and beyond who proudly displayed their product and research efforts. The fair and exhibition, consciously and strategically organized by Tetfund to showcase latest innovations and groundbreaking research to foster interactions and inclusion in a capacious environment for researchers, inventors, manufacturers, venture capitalists, and policymakers with a clear drive towards building a self-sustaining, virile, and formidable nation in the nearest future. Many participants were full of adulation for the Tertiary Education Trust Fund for organizing the fair and exhibition and making it free for them to display their wares, and also ensuring that any member of the public could also walk in free of charge to attend and appreciate the event.
Our product is all about gesture link. It has to help people that are having hearing impairment, profound hearing impairment. Presently in Nigeria, we have about 9.5 million people that are deaf. So, and these people, they cannot communicate. They have barrier in communication. So this device will assist them to navigate into a bidirectional communication. So we have developed this device to make inclusivity for these people, so that this issue of a barrier of unemployment, social isolation, and inadequate legal protection can be removed. And when these people have the right skills and education, that means the GDP of Nigeria can increase, both in agricultural, textile industry, educational sector, and some other area. So this device will assist them. So this is the gesture link device. It converts text to sign language, then sign language into text, so that the hearing impaired can have a seamless mode of communication. Wow, Tetfund have actually tried. They have assisted us in bringing this dream to reality. And by so doing, we believe by the time this product comes out, it will help a lot of people that are faced with these challenges. We are very grateful to Tetfund.
Our invention is all about edutech. And you see, the history is this. If you look very well, this is an imported model of human skeleton system. And all the model we are using in Nigeria today is imported. And every standard laboratories must have a model, which is a requirement for accreditation, being School of Nursing, School of EdTech, universities, colleges of education, and co. And it is seen that this particular imported one is fragile, got destroyed over the years. People even borrow it from one lab to another lab and got distorted. And it's even very expensive. It's sold about 3 billion naira for the bigger one. Now, the problem is now, how do you make our own that's made in Nigeria that be more interactive and more dynamic? So we now look for something that we can use to make it more cheaper. That's why we're now going for waste to wet, which is paper. What you are seeing now is made of paper. This paper mache technology. Papers in our schools are pounded together to make paper mache. So to reduce the cost of production, when you use the waste material, then make it more cheaper. And on the long run, how do you now make it more interactive? It's for us to input 1 or 2 interactive there. For example, now we have 3 functions. You can teach, you can use to learn personally, I can use to evaluate. So in the classroom now, teacher can actually say, during teaching, can point to any of these bones and to show the name of the bone. Can you see? That is Corr. That is Corr, and the Corr is there, the brain, blah, 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 blah. Can also point to any other thing again. This is the femur. That's the femur. This is what? The femur. That's femur. Can point to anyone, you bring out the function. Anyone you point to, bring out the function. Is that? Exactly. So making it more dynamic and interactive. So the student can go there on their own to learn from it. And even doing maybe entrance exam or within test. You can also tell the student to touch any part, and the student will know whether it's correct or it's not correct. Luckily enough, Tetfund know about it, and we need to go to the next level. The next level is called market entry.
What we have here is a 25-kilogram hexacopter. So it is purposely built for agricultural purposes, for spraying liquids, whether it's fertilizer, whether it's pesticides, whether it's irrigation. These products can do it. It carries up to 25 liters of liquid and can last up to 25 minutes on every single charge, as many times as possible you want it to run. And the key selling point of this product is that a lot of it is manufactured locally. This hexacopter is actually a Tetfund-funded research project at the Air Force Institute of Technology. So this project came about because of Tetfund. So Tetfund played a huge role in realizing this project.
This tricycle is electric. It covers 150 kilometers on one charge, and it is also being supported by a solar panel on top. It has a 40 kilogram, 6 kilowatt battery that makes it cover this distance, but it's always been enhanced by the connection to the solar panel you have on top. The battery itself is smart. It can be tracked anywhere it is, and it can be switched off remotely from the office. It has other facilities like fans, like a music system and a Bluetooth system, a charging port for the battery, and the dashboard itself is digital. It shows you the percentage of the battery that is available at any given time. It shows you the distance you are covering, and it shows you the speed. I want to tell Tetfund to take part in what we are doing and also invite the inventors and innovators, the Nigerian youth that we have, to see what more can they do to make this thing a lot more efficient, a lot more affordable. You are aware of the 12-year Nigerian girl that was able to invent an air filter in the United States, and she got a funding for $11.5 million. We want the same thing to happen to the Nigerian youth here that are very intelligent and very hardworking.
This project is called a flight training device, and it's basically an aircraft flying simulator. The function of this device is to provide flying experience for a trainee pilot on ground. Instead of taking the pilot straight to the aircraft to learn the basic arts of flying, a pilot can be brought to this simulator, and here he will acquaint himself with everything that has to do with the configuration of the cockpit, all the avionics on board, all the buttons, and then how to have a hands-on experience, on the control sticks. And even the environment of flying is simulated in here. So a pilot can take off actually with this simulator, fly and land. Now, if he makes mistakes, there's no parking space in the air. But if he makes mistakes, he can crash, and he will see that actually he has crashed. But it is not the same as real-life crash that would have perished both the platform and the human life.
I'm here to exhibit my product, which is automatic transfer switch incorporated with remote control / smart control, whereby when your generator is working, when it's running and there is power supply restored, the gen automatically shuts down. And after shutting down, it transfers the load to the grid. And on the other hand, when there is power failure from the grid, it kickstarts your generator, and after which you transfer the load back to your generator. And on the other hand, you can also have the remote button. Maybe if you don't want the gen to start, you want to determine the starting yourself. So you can just stay in your bedroom and kickstart your generator with the remote. Then also from your mobile control, you can control your generator from your phone. Let's assume you travel out and the kid, maybe there's no light, and the kid need light, maybe for AC and other things in the house. You can start the generator for them. Even right from Canada, where you are, you can start the generator for the kid at home in Nigeria.
The essence of this is to bring Nigerian inventors, researchers, scientists, entrepreneurs, investors in one room to talk to each other where we have Nigerian technology solving Nigerian problem with the Nigerian investors investing into that.
At the closing of the 2024 Research Fair and Exhibition, the Chairman Organizing Committee, Dr. Omar Binder, expressed his satisfaction on the maiden edition of what stakeholders have now determined to be an all-important event. He said the fair and exhibition, which the highly focused Education Minister Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa has graciously determined will be an annual event, will be bigger, bolder and much more robust next year and in subsequent years, all geared towards building a new and prosperous Nigeria as championed by the nation's visionary leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was also full of praises for the Commander-in-Chief, Minister of Education and all other Federal Executive Council members, the Chairman Tetfund Board of Trustees, the Executive Secretary, the Chairman National Research Fund Screening and Monitoring Committee, participants, attendees and members of his organizing committee who all worked assiduously to making the historic event successful. Dr. Bindri was full of optimism that the fair and exhibition will mark a watershed in the nation's quest for a hurried economic transformation and wished everyone a safe return to their abodes.
If I've forgotten you specifically or your group, I apologize. But everybody that made this a success is thanked, and I hope that we can be able to make our leaders proud so that next year we make a bigger thing. And hopefully, like the Executive Secretary said, Nigeria will wake up. For me, the dream is to see senators taking equipment designed in Nigeria, made in Nigeria, marketed in Nigeria to their constituencies. So that instead of seeing sewing machine from China, and then hair dryers from India, and so on and so forth, we will flip it up, and then it will become designed, made, marketed in Nigeria, creating jobs, generating wealth, and then insecurity will disappear, and all these tribal sentiment will disappear, and we will start shaking hands as a great country.
The Education Minister, Dr. Tunji Alausa, in his closing remarks, expressed his appreciation to all players and individuals who contributed in making the maiden edition of the Tetfund National Research Fair and Exhibition a success story. Speaking through Tetfund's Executive Secretary, Architect Suni St. Echono, the minister said the fair and exhibition exceeded all expectations and maintained that it will be sustained going forward. He reiterated the need for the youths to take the advantage the fair presents and urged them to become the transforming agents for a purposeful and prosperous nation.
We have a demographic dividend that if we plan, if we prepare, if we invest in our people, especially our young men and women, and we tap their talent and we harness all their God-given talents and properly deploy them to productive ventures, Nigeria will in no time leapfrog and be comparing ourselves with those like India, with China, with South Korea, with Japan and so on. And we have the capacity and the human capital to achieve this.
As stated by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, a poet, politician and former Vice President of India, empowering the individual means empowering the nation, and empowerment is best served through rapid economic growth and rapid social change. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund Tetfund is no doubt committed to the empowerment of the Nigerian nation through massive empowerment of the individual with ideas to shape the technological advancement of Africa's giant federation. With the able leadership and demonstrable support of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR and the unflinching determination of the Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa towards ensuring a much more proficient and productive education sector, Nigeria is definitely on the right trajectory towards making life and living rewarding and appreciably more meaningful for a teeming citizenry. The world should watch out. Nigeria is coming.
Tetfund.